I'm going to play this deck instead. Which, I don't know if you guys can see the actual list. But this deck is attempting to mirror the Time Vault kill using worst Time Vault NA, Magistrate Scepter. In Modern. With a sort of artifactish, not quite prison deck. That makes sense. I will put the list on Stream Decker for anyone using the overlay so that they can see it if they'd like. Let me close the other windows. Okay. Called it Vaulting Ambition. That is a great name for this deck. Alright, I'm going to keep this hand. This hand's actually pretty good. Pass the turn. So let's play an island. I don't know if I want to risk playing Core Tapper. Because we want a Core Tapper after we like have a Magistrate Scepter or Astral Cornucopia out. So let's wait one more turn. Opponent's going to opt. We'll also kind of hide what we're doing for a little bit. Oh, this is probably Storm. We get a Damping Sphere. Do we play Damping Sphere? Yeah, I think we do. Because we're not going to be casting multiple things a turn, but if our opponent is Storm and we can main deck hose them, that'd be great. Gotcha! Main deck Damping Sphere turns out to be pretty good. So Chalice is in. Tormod's Crypt in. And I guess we'll take out Everflowing Chalice, because it's bad with Chalice of the Void, even if you multi-kick it. And we'll cut a... Let's cut an Ensnaring Bridge. And Spyglass, I think. Try it like this. You don't own me, Bone Daddy. But you do contribute a lot, and I appreciate it. You're not my real dad. Well, I appreciate it. It was good to see you. We cannot keep a hand with no land. Really, really tempting. If we get a second land and we can chalice on one, that should slow our opponent down enough we can win. Let's try again. Alright, we get a Witchbane Orb. We have Tormod's Crypt. That should slow our opponent down enough, I think. Cornucopia. We will draw Cornucopia. So play Tectonic Edge, play Tormod's Crypt. Pass the turn. We're not going to play it on 0. We might actually play it on 1 so we can get to this Witchbane Orb. Opponent Thought Scours. Us. Milling Ipnu Rivulet and Grind Clock. Opponent seems to be not hitting lands. Okay, that's much better. Put Cornucopia on 0. Play Surge Node. Pass the turn. So now we can start putting counters on Cornucopia. Opponent mills 2 Surgical Extractions and a Faithless Looting. We'll gain a life. 1, 2, 3. Still no land. Play another Welding Jar. Counter on Cornucopia. Scepter. Gain a life. Draw Crypt. We'll play Crypt. Another counter on Cornucopia. Play Witchbane Orb. Pass the turn. We're not doing anything on their turn, really. Well, we might be, actually. So no F6, I guess. Okay, untap, gain a life. Put a counter on Cornucopia. Play a Core Tapper. Well, if we draw a Chalice, we can put it on 1. And then our opponent is going to have a very rough day. We also need a Whir of Invention so we can get out a Ensnaring Bridge. Opponent's Sleight of Hands. So opponent is going to get in for a bunch of damage, looks like. Untap, gain a life. Draw a Whir. Okay. So that's really good. Let's see, do we do it now? No, let's wait. See if our opponent casts anything at instant speed. We can survive a hit anyway. Okay, at our opponent's end step, let's put some counters on Magistrate Scepter. Whir for an Ensnaring Bridge if we can. Opponent Spell Pierces. Get some tokens. So pay for the Spell Pierce. Opponent has a second Spell Pierce. We cannot pay for that one. Alright, untap. Gain a life. We draw another Whir. Okay, that's good. So let's put a counter on Magistrate Scepter. Whir again. Opponent has a negate this time. Okay. Well, last charge counter, we'll put on Magistrate Scepter. Take an extra turn. Untap, gain a life. We draw Phyrexia's Core. Play Phyrexia's Core. Put a counter on Cornucopia. Tutor for Bridge. Play Bridge. Pass the turn. Opponent opts. Always yield. Plays a Spire Bluff Canal. And good thing we have 2 welding jars out for any abrades. Opponent flashes back a Faithless Looting. We untap, we draw an island. Play an island. Put a counter on Scepter. Pass the turn. Okay, put a counter on Scepter. Untap. We draw an Ancient Stirrings. Well, let's Ancient Stirrings. Opponent negates. Sure. Put a counter on Scepter. Take an extra turn. Tech Edge the Steam Vents. Now we only have to play around like Dispel and Spell Pierce. Opponent abrades the bridge. We regenerate it. Extra turn. Ooh, Energy Chamber is really good. So play Energy Chamber. Put a counter on Scepter. Put a counter on Scepter. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Sacred Foundry. Can't attack. So we untap. Put a charge counter on Scepter. Draw an Ancient Stirrings. Play Ancient Stirrings. We get another Core Tapper. Play Core Tapper. Charge counter on Scepter. Take an extra turn. Untap. Charge counter on Scepter. Save targets, always yield. Opponent just floats a bunch of mana? Sure. Take an extra turn. Ancient Stirrings. We're looking for anything we can use to win the game at this point. So let's get a Sculpting Steel. Oh, nice! Do you have a list for Metalwork Colossus? Because, like, that's an awesome, awesome deck. This is so many more clicks. I'll have to take a look in a second. I'm going to try and focus on winning the game here. Save targets does not work with Energy Chamber. So let's play Rivulet. Let's just Rivulet our opponent to death. It's kind of boring, but... Okay, cool. And they scoop it up. Sweet. Main deck Damping Sphere into... Crucible of Worlds Ipnu Rivulet wins the game. So let's take a look at this Metalwork list. We've got Alchemist Vial, Cloud Key, Conjurer's Bauble, Elsewhere Flask, Grinding Station, Acre Wellspring. Ooh. This kind of looks like it does some very broken artifact shenanigans. And I always enjoy broken artifact shenanigans that aren't affinity. So I'm going to have to keep that list saved for a little bit. Also, welcome back to the stream, Frollo Baggins. Good to see you. I would play that deck on Moto, but unfortunately Cloud Key is still broken. Okay, let me put it this way. If I run into an affinity deck that's playing, I don't know, Mycosynth Golem, I'm gonna play the deck if it's good. Like, if it can win, I'll play it. It's more like affinity than affinity. It's more realistic than real life. Had a couple of turn 3 wins and a few 10 out of 10 beat games. Cloud Key works now? They fixed Cloud Key? Oh my gosh, I can actually go and play several of the decks I want to play now. Oh, I'm gonna have to go build some decks later. Also, welcome new viewers to the stream. Right now we're playing Modern Time Vault, which I think takes too long to win, personal opinion. But for a deck that I built, seems decently reasonable. Alright. This hand's not explosive. Oh gosh, it only gets worse. Do we keep the Surge node? I shouldn't have kept this hand. I'm cutting off cards again. Surge node to the bottom. Opponent starts Wooded Foothills. I am not much better, Frollo Baggins. I am not much better. So we're going to play Talaria West, play Welding Jar, pass the turn. We are going to need some very good draws to get out of this one. And it's only just begun. That's how you know your deck is good. We draw an Academy Ruins. We'll play a Ghost Quarter, pass the turn. Also would not mind some more blue sources. I feel like without Mox Opal, I probably don't have enough blue sources to actually be running a Whir deck. Play Academy Ruins. Pass the turn. Opponent bolts our face. Is this just Tamer Scapeshift? Looks like Tamer Scapeshift. Untap. We draw Witchbane Orb. I guess let's try and run a Semblance Anvil out there. It resolves. So we are going to pitch probably orbs, honestly. Yeah. We're going to pitch orbs. Pass the turn. Now, if our opponent can bounce it, we're going to be sad. Like, they got a Cryptic Command, and they counter this Witchbane Orb and bounce the Semblance Anvil. Feels like a 17 for 1 or something like that, if my math is right. Opponent bolts our face again. We're down to 14. Opponent plays an island. We draw an island. We'll play an island. Attempt to Orbs of Warding. Or, I mean, Witchbane Orb. Opponent has Snapcaster for a Lightning Bolt. Bolts our face. Alright, pass the turn. This hand does not spark joy. You are correct. I'm 9/11th the way to Colossus. Is that counting the cost reduction? It is, isn't it? Madcap Experiment. Platinum Empyrean. Surak Dragonclaw! I'm just dead, aren't I? No, I am not dead. Though this does not feel good. I'm glad the old artifact rules aren't in play, where if an artifact is tapped, it doesn't have its effect. And let's go get a... I guess... Ensnaring Bridge? Try and stay alive. I couldn't remember the name of it, surprisingly. I was struggling there for a moment. Oh, shoot, I can play Sphere, can't I? Too late. It's... yes, I should have played Sphere. That way our opponent could not attack with their Snapcaster Mage. But this is over the instant our opponent finds a Cryptic Command and can bounce this bridge. Unless we can get a second one out very shortly. Opponent plays a Snapcaster. Or attacks with it, I mean. Plays a Mind Sculptor. Brainstorms with Mind Sculptor. We untap. We draw Magistrate Scepter. Play Sphere. Because it pays for itself here. So let's whir... Let's whir for Spyglass. Unless there's something better we can get. We can Sculpting Steel or Bridge 2. Yeah, let's Spyglass. When it has Opt, Snapcaster, Vendilion Click. Okay. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Pass the turn. Opponent opts. So they're holding a Vendilion Click and a Snapcaster. If we get the opportunity to hope they draw step click themselves. Because they don't realize the interaction with what? I don't realize whatever interaction we're talking about here. Opponent activates as Kanto. Oh, because they can't target us. Right. Right. Opponent is going to Cryptic to bounce Bridge. And, yep. I guess that means we're dead. Alright, so. I think we want Pithing Needle and Grafdigger's Cage and the size. Maybe even Padim. And what do we go down? We go down. Had a brew that was a Jeskai version of that deck. Madcap is a fun bit of business. But with Favor of the Mighty, oh yes! That sounds awesome. Just Platinum Empyrean with protection from all colors seems pretty sweet. So we're going to cut our Crucible of Worlds, our Clock of Omens. Let's see. What else do we have that's like not as good? I guess a Gambit. Maybe a Crypt. I don't know if Chalice is good here. They cast a lot of big spells. I'm going to cut the Chalice. Like, they have a lot of 1-drops, but... Turn 2 Favor into turn 4 Madcap 1 versus most decks? Yeah, I bet. That sounds really nasty. This is the problem when you build a sideboard and you don't know exactly how to use it. I guess we cut a Scepter. And maybe we don't need all of the size. Alright, try it like this. Yes, I would like to play first. I mean, okay. Yeah, I'll keep. We're going to start Island, because I don't trust Ancient Stirrings into 0-mana Artifact to keep Glimmervoid alive. Okay, we draw an Everflowing Chalice. So we play Glimmervoid. And I think we kick Everflowing Chalice once. Pass the turn. Pray our opponent does not have some sort of destruction for Everflowing Chalice. Otherwise, this is going to go south in a hurry. Opponent plays a Breeding Pool and passes the turn. We draw a Whir of Invention. So let's Ancient Stirrings. We find... Hmm. Kind of want to take Grafdigger's Cage, but I don't know if that's right. Let's take Core Tapper. Rest of the bottom. Play Core Tapper. Maybe we should have taken a land, but we'll see. Thank you, I appreciate it. I rather enjoy outrageously loud clothing. I have a blue one and a green one, and if I had put any forethought into this whatsoever, I would be wearing the green one, because it's March now, finally. I don't know why our opponent is thinking so hard about this one. It should not be taking them this long to make a decision about what they want to do here. I'm pretty happy. I put the video I made for the 1,000-Year Storm draft up yesterday, and I'm very satisfied. I learned how to do a few more things with my video editing software. Oh, opponent let it resolve. Okay. Cool. Opponent opts. I think worst case scenario, opponent has a red land for like bolt on Core Tapper, forcing us to sack it, and then bouncing our Everflowing Chalice and just making us sad eternally. Okay. So let's charge counter on Everflowing Chalice. Leveling up with editing feels great. I agree. And try and play a Semblance Anvil. Okay, opponent negates Semblance Anvil. Play Surge Node. Pass the turn. Yeah, I put the JoJo's menacing characters and like did all the jittering and the animation on them myself without actual like picture-in-picture interpolation. Because my software is like not quote-unquote real editing software. Okay. So let's put a counter on Everflowing Chalice. Put a counter on Everflowing Chalice. Play Magistrate Scepter. Opponent not having an aggressive start here is pretty good. Play Energy Chamber. Our opponent is going to Cryptic to counter the chamber and bounce the chalice. Well, that hurts, but nothing we can do about it. Kind of wish we had like a sack outlet there so we could counter the Cryptic command. Opponent plays a Jace. Fate seals us. It was a counter and bounce, but if you sack the thing... No, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It was 2 targets. So, play Everflowing Chalice. Put a counter on Everflowing Chalice. Play Surge Node. Counter on Scepter. Counter on Scepter. 2 counters on Scepter. Take an extra turn. Untap, we draw an island. Play the island. This is tough. We can whir for a Sorceress Spike. Oh, am I taking too long? Okay. I'm sorry, opponent. Well, let's submit. I probably was going to put the counters on Magistrate Scepter and take another turn there. Because, like, whirring for Sorceress Spyglass just leaves us open to getting Cryptic again. And I was going to try and combo off there. Okay, this hand is pretty sweet, so I'm going to keep this one. Opponent starts Wooded Foothills. And passes turn to us. We'll play a Breeding Pool. Untapped. Ancient Stirrings. Let's take... See, we have Core Tapper. Let's take Cornucopia. Rest of the bottom. Pass the turn. Untap. We draw a Grind Clock. Play Tectonic Edge. Play Grind Clock. Too much of the wrong jank in it? It needs more of the right jank? It might be. Okay, opponent lets Grind Clock resolve. I was going to do Paradox Engine, but I think midway through this deck, I actually forgot what I was doing. Play an island, play Psy, or at least attempt to. Opponent has a remand for him. Alright. Let's play a welding jar. Just to be sure. I have a version of this deck that ran Paradox Engine, but rather than use Magistrate Scepter, I was trying to win with Otherworld Atlas. It's a very interesting thing to attempt. Grind Clock, put a counter on it. Draw Spyglass. Alright. We'll play Glimmer Void. Attempt to play Psy. All of my combo decks needlessly have Mill as a win con. I mean, not all of them. Not all of them. I mean, some of them, but not all of them. So let's Pithing Needle on Jace the Mind Sculptor. Pass the turn. One by having infinite gates in play. Several win by taking infinite turns. One tried to win with Omniscience. Okay. So let's try and play a Core Tapper. Okay, Core Tapper resolves. Infinite turns doesn't win you the game. It does with a Snapcaster. And it does with freaking Part the Water Veil. And we win with damage in that one more than we usually win with turn or win with mill. Yes, a lot of my decks do try and win too much with mill. I would agree. Infinite turns doesn't win you the game on Moto. Okay. Put some counters on Grind Clock. Let's take our opponent off green, shall we? Opponent finds a Scalding Tarn, because they do. Gets in for 3, takes us to 15. So let's mill him. Okay, we mill some lands. Untap. Draw Tezzeret. Let's take a look at their hand if we can. See if we can figure out what's coming up. Opponent cracks Scalding Tarn. Finds a Stomping Ground, untapped. Opponent has Abrade, Cryptic Command, and Negate. Well, let's name I guess Scalding Tarn. I don't know what other activated abilities they have. But our opponent does have a Cryptic, which is going to make our life kind of hell. Opponent goes to a Braid Grind Clock, so we Welding Jar it. And we mill our opponent in the process, because regeneration will tap it. Opponent plays an island. Gets in for 3. We draw a Glimmer Void. So we know our opponent is holding a Negate and a Cryptic at the very least. So play Glimmer Void. We could try and put Cornucopia out on 1, though I feel like it's just going to get countered. That's probably better than having Tezzeret get countered later. So let's try and throw Cornucopia out there. Okay, so opponent is going to Cryptic Counterbounce. Mill our opponent. Is the Seeker going to Seek? Hopefully. I don't know if we're going to make it that far. We're on a 4-turn clock and our opponent is on a more than 4-turn clock. Let's just put it that way. Play Grind Clock. Play Core Tapper. Another Cryptic! Alright. Alright, we'll call it quits with that one.